Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today's Friday, September 22nd. Happy Friday, everyone. It is 6:23 right now. Market's going to open in about 7 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a couple of things here to update and we should be good to go. It's good. Few more things here. All right, perfect. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. And we should be good to go. Yeah, it'll give it a few moments for people to make their way in. And we'll start shortly. All right, good morning, everybody. Today's Friday, September 22nd. It is 6:26 right now. Market's going to open in about 4 minutes. So I'll get a few more moments for people to make their way in. And then I'll start marking up liquidity over here on the weekly time frame. So I'll just clean this up a little bit, take some stuff off right here. And we should be good to go. All right, so let me start marking up liquidity over here. So I'm going to mark this up. There, color that blue. So starting off over here on the weekly time frame, liquidity marked up right there. I'm not gonna go all the way down, guys. I'm not expecting price to drop like 10,000 pips in one day. So I'll go here to the daily. Go over here to the 8-hour. Go over to the 4-hour. So I think the Fed was speaking today. I'll check the news real quick and we'll confirm. But I do think the Fed was speaking, earlier today. We'll clean this up. This is actually already used. So I'll mark that one right there. Whatever. Those are even touched. No, it's pretty close. I'll just leave that one there. And then I'll go down to the 30-minute. Going down to the 15-minute. Down to the 10-minute. And it looks like we are good to go. All right, back down to the 1 minute. So, all right, guys, looking at this over here, we have the closest liquidity down below. I mean, price might touch the pre-market, which is going to be right here. It's a low level liquidity, probably would only go for 100 pips if you do decide to take it. So that's going to be the lower level at 34,344. The upper level over here is going to be at 34,406. Also a low level liquidity. So we got liquidity pretty close to where price is currently at. I mean, price can really go in either direction. If you guys are looking to take it, that's going to be the two levels right there. It's probably going to hit. There you go. First level right there got hit, pre-market. Market's still not open. It's going to open in about 30 seconds. So there goes the first level right there. It's currently running. It's probably going to hit, but obviously I'm not going to take that trade there. Other than that, yep, and the liquidity went right through it. So if you guys took that first level right there, it did exactly what we expected. It was going to hit right prior to market open, and it blasted right through the TP. So the next level is going to be down below over here. If you guys are looking to take this higher level, it's going to be at 34,313. So I'll have that marked up right there, and market is now open, guys. So let's see what happens here on open. Price is dumping pretty heavy. It's getting right down to that next level. It hasn't touched it yet, but it's getting close to it. Probably not going to chase that, of course, but yeah, it is blasting right through. There goes that next level. Liquidity just got hit. There goes the next level again right below. Bunch of levels right here getting hit. At this point, it's definitely a bit overextended. I'd be careful taking this next level here. Typically if I do see another level, I would recommend to just take one level, wait for it to retrace, and then take the next level on the retest. So we got the opening candle right here. It came down, rejected directly off the sessions. Let's see. So for our breakout V2, we technically may have a sell coming out. The problem is this candle is like super overextended. So let me go over here and mark up opening price, which is right here. Yeah, so if this red candle closes, this is technically going to be the breakout V2. The only problem is that, as you guys can see, price is very overextended right here and at a crazy move pre-market. I mean, not even close. It probably won't even close red, to be honest, the way that it's moving. But again, this whole week's been kind of iffy, guys, with this breakout V2. So if you guys want to take the trade, I'll mark it up for you guys. It's not looking like it's going to close red. We have about 20 seconds left on it, but you guys can see how crazy these candle movements are. So I'm probably not going to take this breakout V2. I'll document it and follow it, but I'm probably not going to take it myself because I'm waiting for, something more stable. Like the market's not stable at all right now. As you guys can see, it just kind of spikes back and forth. The last thing you want to do is take a risky trade and then be caught in this trade as price, kind of spikes all over the place. So there was no breakout V2 on that specific candle. There had to be two red candles. There was only one here. Now we'll see, price continues to push around. So like what might happen here is we might get a buy. If we get a buy signal here, that's completely fine. Because if we get a buy signal, then it might set up for a momentum counter scalp, which may come right back down in the direction that we want it to go anyways. Let me check the calendar real quick. I think there was news pre-market. I think the Fed is speaking, or he was speaking today too. So, all right, looking at the news for today. Right here, we had Fed Cook speaking at 5:50. I don't know if he's still speaking. He might continue to be speaking right now, but he might be done as well. 6:45, we have high impact news, S&P Global Manufacturing PMI and S&P Global Services PMI. Also, S&P Global Services, S&P Global Composite PMI. So a lot of inflation is coming up over here in a few minutes, which you guys want to be careful for. 6:45, right there. We do have a buy signal coming up. So technically, if we get two green candles following this may be the breakout V2. But again, as I mentioned, the market here is moving very choppy, very volatile, very risky, that I would probably, I would either just sit this out or I would take it for a smaller move. I probably wouldn't go for the full move. Just go for a partial, maybe 100 pips, just to get in and out very quickly because of, how price is moving right here. It's moving very volatile and very erratic, that I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty that can happen here. Price can either spike to it can spike directly to your TP, or it can go complete opposite, which is not necessarily the best thing for you guys to be looking for. So, I mean, I'll look for an entry here, but I'm not going to be forcing anything, of course. So if you get two red candles right here, it's technically going to be a entry for a momentum counter scalp. That's something that I would maybe be okay with. The only problem is that it's getting so close to news here. So it's going to be a little bit of and this candle here is kind of big. So even though like the red flags aren't necessary, I still take red flags into consideration here, guys, especially when the market's moving very choppy like this. If this here closes red, this is technically the momentum counter scalp entry. So if you guys are looking to take it, there can be a sell signal though. So if there's no sell signal, this will be the momentum counter scalp. If there's a sell signal, it's not going to be the counter scalp because it pretty much invalidates the move. So you're just looking for this to close without a red sell signal. And if it does, that's going to be the counter scalp. The candle is huge. So obviously I wouldn't take it. It looks like it's going to close with a sell signal. Yeah, this thing's moving pretty crazy. So the way that the market's moving right now, I'm definitely not going to take the breakout V2. I'll mark it up for you guys and I'll follow it, but I'm not going to take it. So there's no momentum counter scalp for today, guys. Or actually, yeah, there's no momentum counter scalp for today. There's no counter scalp because it just comes up once a day. And since right here, it came up with the sell signal, there's no counter scalp. So no counter scalp right there. So I'm going to go and update the spreadsheet real quick. It's not going to be too difficult because there was no entry there. So today is the 9/22/23, no entry. So no entry for today for the momentum counter scalp. The breakout V2 is still technically pending, but with the market movement right here, it's because the Fed spoke at 5:30. So the Fed spoke at 5:30 today, and obviously market's having a reaction to what he had said during his speech. Then we have inflation news coming up right here in 9 minutes. S&P Global Manufacturing Services Composite PMI. It's high impact to medium impact. So that's going to affect the market as well. So what I would recommend is to just sit on your hands, guys. It's 6:36 right now. Just wait for a little bit. Price just keeps coming back and rejecting directly off the sessions right here. There's a whole reason I created this indicator to avoid trades at the sessions. I mean, some people can take trades at the sessions for like just the bounces, but as you can see right here, it's a lot of uncertainty when price gets near this point. So yeah, price is highly manipulated right now. I probably would hold off and just be a little careful. Yeah, Maddie said, I think they're trying to lure in some more buyers before dropping it below the sessions. Yeah, I agree too. So I think what they're doing is they're luring in both. They're luring in traders in both directions, guys. So like what it looks like here is they're luring in sellers. As soon as sellers get into the market, they push price up. As soon as buyers get into the market because they think price is reversing, they push price right back down. Again, right here, same situation, and pushing price back up. As soon as people chase into these buys here, what's going to happen next? Come right back down, right? So don't get caught in this noise right here, guys. There's a ton of noise this week. I mean, this entire week's been like this. It's been very noisy, very back and forth, no consistency at all. So, I mean, the best option right now is just to sit tight and wait for the market to stabilize. It's going to stabilize eventually. You can't keep moving crazy like this all day. Market was moving crazy like this during COVID because there was a lot of news going on. But for a regular day like this, you just got to wait for the market to find its direction, and then we'll continue riding it in that direction. So I'm still looking for the breakout V2. I'm not going to take the trade, but I will follow it and I'll mark it up because we need to document this trade so that we know moving forward, what trades to avoid and what trades to take. And also today's Friday, guys. So another reminder to you guys, Fridays and Mondays are the riskier days to trade. Friday because people are exiting the market for the weekend. And on Monday, people are entering the market from the weekend. So you get a lot of increased volatility, not necessarily like legit volatility, just people getting in and out of the market for the weekend, from getting in and out for the weekend and coming back in from the weekend. So we'll see, what goes on here, but there was no momentum counter scalp. There's a possible breakout that's still setting up right here. There's one breakout every day. It doesn't matter like what day it is. There's got to be a breakout every single day. So that's what we're looking for here. And once we get that breakout, I'll mark it up and we'll follow it. But for the most part, I'm not going to take the trade. We have news right here at 6:45, high impact inflation news. And it's not really worth the risk. We got more news at 10 o'clock, but obviously I'm not going to mess with that. Let's see if there's anything else here. I think that was about it. Yeah, that's about it for US news over here. So what I'm going to do next is I'll go over here to the clean chart so you guys can see the mess over here. So market open right there at 6:30, 7. Markup opening price right there. So we got opening price right there, and then I'll mark up structure if there's any structure that's currently available. So it looks like there's structure right there, and there's structure down here. All right, so as you guys can see, here's a clean chart. I marked up structure. There's not really too much going on. It's just going back and forth between these two zones right here. And here it goes, price comes right back down. So there's still no breakout V2. I mean, I'll mark it up when it comes up, but there still has not been a breakout V2 yet, which is pretty surprising for you know, how long the market's been pushing for. If you guys look at the spreadsheet, the V2 typically comes up. Okay, so the latest I've seen the V2 come up is at 6:43 or 6:47 actually. So yeah, it might come a little later. Maybe at that point, price will kind of stabilize a bit and maybe we can take the breakout V2, but I mean, we'll see what happens here when it actually comes up. So right about after news price is typically the latest that I've documented the breakout V2. All right, price is coming down. Price is coming down, but there is no sell signal. So it doesn't really matter until we get that sell signal for momentum. Either we get 2 green candles for the breakout V2, or we get a sell signal and 2 red candles. Yeah, we have news coming up right now in about 4 minutes too. So I'm not going to take the trade. I'll just mark it up for you guys to follow. But while we do that, let's take a look at the overall bias for today. So looking over here at retail sentiment is currently 57% long. It's been a while since it's been long. So we have 57% of retail traders who are currently buying right now. It's more of a bearish neutral right now. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently neutral. They're down 15 points. And looking over here at the technicals, short term is bearish because price is below the pivots, trend meter is red, pivots are angling down, and it's also bearish over here on the higher time frame. So with that said, it looks like we have a bearish bias for today. It's pretty obvious. Today's overall bias. Retail sentiment is bearish neutral. It's 56% long. It hasn't been like that in a long time. Fundamentals, bias, neutral, negative 15 points. Short-term technicals, bearish. Long-term technicals, bearish. All right, so there goes today's overall bias for today. Obviously, you can see it's a bit bearish, not super bearish, but it is bearish for the most part. I mean, yeah, we'll keep looking for any possible opportunities here, but not really looking like too much here. Got news coming up in about 2 minutes. Yeah, Rashida's the daily looks like a head and shoulders. Andrew said, I think the counter stop came up at 6:37. Might have the requirements wrong though. So let's see, 6:37. Yeah, so for the momentum counter scalp, Andrew, it only comes up once a day. So like if we get a momentum signal, so for example, right here, the momentum signal came up for a buy, it would have to come up right here on the let me check real quick. Yeah, it would have to come up right here where the sell signal came up. But since there was a sell signal on it, it invalidates it. So you can't take it if there's a sell signal on the entry candle or the one right before it. So technically, yeah, the entry was supposed to come up right here at 635, but because there was a momentum signal, we had to skip it. So it only happens once a day. And since it didn't come up right here, it just ends up as a no show for the entry. But yeah, you would have, yeah, if right here, if you were to disregard that requirement, then you would have, yeah, it would have been the entry, but the entry is supposed to be right here because their first momentum was right here for a buy signal. So market open right here at 6:30. We had the buy signal right here. You're looking for the counter scalp in the opposite direction. The counter scalp would have happened right here, but since there was a sell signal, there was no entry there. But yeah, if this, say for example, this buy signal never came up and this sell signal was the first signal that came up, then yeah, you'd be right, and that'd be the entry right here. Because this would be the first signal, this would be the counter scalp in the opposite direction. Basically, what you're looking for is you're looking for a momentum signal and you're looking for price to fill that candle. So see how this candle is so big? And you got two candles right here, it comes up and just fills it. So that's the logic behind that strategy. You could probably apply it throughout the day. Like if you see a huge candle, I mean, it could probably work out in your favor. Because if that's something you want to work on, that's something you could look at too. There's so many different like variations to applying these strategies. You don't have to apply them the same way I do. But yeah, if you want to keep looking at it, it plays through. Yeah, no, you're fine, Andrew. I'm glad it played through for you. I mean, it was probably a good candle to take anyways, because this candle was so huge. So, you know, it probably, either way, it probably would have worked out in your favor, especially if you're only going for like 100 pips. And that's kind of what I like about our small TPs is that even if you make a mistake, it's probably going to hit your TP, you know, because it's going to push in that direction slightly. So here goes a news candle, guys. You guys can see how crazy it's moving right here. We had a pending signal on it and it disappeared and it spiked up, and we'll see how price reacts to this right here. Technically, there's still no breakout V2. So I'm looking to fill, or I'm looking to identify the breakout V2 if and when it comes up. If this is the case right here where it comes up, it's going to be the next two green candles. So if we get one green candle here and one more, technically the breakout V2 is going to happen around here. This is probably the farthest back I've seen a breakout V2 maybe come up. So we'll see if this, you know, ends up being the case. Breakout V2. Yeah, so I mean, if it closes green, technically this would be the breakout V2. But there still hasn't been an entry for it. The thing that I like about the breakout V2 is that it happens at least once a day. It doesn't matter like how long it takes, it's going to happen at least once a day. And it's going to be either a win or a loss. So there's no green candle there. So it's not looking like this will be the breakout V2 entry. You need two green candles to follow this green momentum. Yeah, and it's also on news too. Well, I mean, the thing with the strategies, I'm testing it with like no criteria. So even if there's news right there, if the entry came up, I would have marked it up. But yeah, like Maddie said, there was news right there. So we wouldn't have taken it even if like it did come up. But just for documentation purposes, we're making sure that we document every single trade, no matter if there's news or crazy movement or anything like that, because then that's where we document it. So we'll take the trade, we'll mark it up, and then if it ends up losing, we'll put a note that it was exactly at news or close to news price. So in the future, we're like, okay, we should always avoid this strategy during news. Because typically, you know, that's usually where the volatility comes in. And it either works in your favor or it doesn't. So there's still no breakout yet, guys. You know, what I'll do here now is I'll start marking up levels for the momentum pullback scalp. All right, so I'll start marking up levels right here because obviously we're not going to take a breakout if it comes up. We'll be looking for a possible momentum pullback scalp. So let me just start marking it up right here. So I'll start from the lower end. $90, 300, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. All right, so I got the zones marked up right here. ATR is currently at 20, so it's pretty high, which is not necessarily a bad thing. All right, so we're just following this through. There's not really too much movement. Going back to the clean chart over here, you guys can see I marked up the zones. It hasn't really moved too much since then. It's still bouncing back and forth between the same zones. So, I mean, we'll see. This is possibly setting up for the breakout V2 right here. Or not. And we'll see. There's just no consistency here. I mean, price keeps going back and forth. There isn't really a setup that's really coming up. I mean, I'm surprised breakout V2 hasn't come up yet. I've never seen the breakout V2 take this long, or like in general, I don't see any like following two candles here pushing a direction. And we're almost like 30 minutes into the session. It's 6:50 right now almost. It's pretty clear here on the clean chart though. So if you look over here on the clean chart, it might look kind of directional on the main chart, but here on the clean chart, you can see there's not really too much movement. So it looks like the breakout V2 just came up, technically. So the breakout V2 technically is now running right there. So we're just going to document this. I'm not in this position. Just documenting it and watching to see where it goes from here. So that we can put this in our data. So not really too much movement there. So we're not in this position, guys. We're just following it for data purposes. Seeing where this goes from here. The volatility is starting to die down. As you guys can see, it's pretty obvious that it was pretty volatile earlier, and now it's kind of just slowing down a bit as it continues to play through. So we're looking for momentum pullback scalps. That's the main thing I'm looking for. I'm just documenting this trade right here for the strategy. So good thing we can take it. Obviously, the trade came super late. So I'm going to go and document this real quick. Put this over here. Today is the 22nd. I mean, overall bias today was a sell anyway, so it's not really one that we would look to take. So we had that right there as a buy. 9:27. I believe the sells is just buy. All right, so that market trade came extremely late. No direction or volatility. All right. Let me go and update this real quick. All right, so I've updated the spreadsheet right there. It wasn't a position that we took, obviously. Looks like liquidity push might have hit right there. Yeah, so if you guys took the second touch of liquidity right here, it looks like it blasted right through. So all liquidity here pretty much got hit already for the most part, or all the close areas of liquidity. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go and update the levels here, it looks like. Some adjustments here. So the 80, 70, 60, 50, 40. All right, so I got the levels marked up right there. We're obviously looking for a sell here if it comes down to the momentum pullback scalp. What we're looking for here is we're looking for price to retrace back up. So we'll see if price continues to tumble down. And then we're going to be looking for price to retrace back up from where it's at. So we're basically looking for a green candle. And once we get that green candle, we'll be looking to take our entry. From there. So we're basically just waiting for a green candle to come up. Once we get the green candle, we'll be looking for the levels to enter from. I mean, either of these two levels right here will be fine. So if we get a green candle, entry is going to happen right here. If this green candle closes below this black line, entry will happen right here at the 80 mark. Or a momentum pullback scalp. If it pulls back further, it's going to be at this next level at the 90. All right, let's see. So the momentum pullback scalp will happen right there at the 90 if price pulls up to that point. Let me see if I can put a pending order there. It's too slow to catch it. Let me see if I can probably get it late. So I'm just watching right here as price comes down further from where it's currently at. And I got into that for a partial move, guys. It filled it super quick. I got in super late and I just had to pull out. So price came up right here, filled it. I got in right here when price came down a little bit, came down and it hit TP, and I just pulled out of it super quickly. So I got a very partial profit on that. Let me check if I even made profit on that on my other accounts. The profit was extremely small. Yeah. So I got some of that because I had to pull in like when price was already filled. So it came down and it hit TP super quickly and I pulled out manually. So I'm not sure if anybody else caught that with me, but I got very partial profit on this momentum pullback scalp. If you guys didn't get it, it's fine. We're going to wait for the next one. I mentioned this before this candle even closed. I said if this candle closes below, entry is going to be at the 80. If the candle closes above, entry will be at the 90. Price came up, filled it. I had to get in for a late entry, came down, hit TP, close it out manually. And I locked in like very small profit on that, but I'll show you guys a screenshot of that. So just taking that link over here. Yeah, I made 170 on my funded engineer. I basically made like $100 per account. Not very much. I was supposed to make 1,000, but I was only able to get so much because of the volatility was too fast and I had to manually pull out of that trade. So I'll just document this right here and then I'll take a screenshot of my profits so that you guys can see. We'll be looking for another entry here, guys. So don't worry if you guys missed it. It just happened so quickly. If you weren't paying attention, you guys didn't wait for that 90 points to get hit. You know, obviously you would have missed it. So let me just take a screenshot of my accounts. Today's not the day to get greedy, guys. I mean, it's never the day to get greedy, but today's definitely not the day to get greedy. So when it hits TP on TradingView, you got to pull out of your position, even if you get out late or get in late. The good thing here is that volatility is high, so we're probably going to get another entry before market ends. Or this thing might even come down super heavily and it might come back down and just continue pushing. So let me take the individual screenshot, or not the individual screenshot, but the screenshot of my copier. All right, so we're waiting for the next entry over here, looking for another sell signal. Once we get that sell signal, we'll continue to write it down even further. This is all like pretty much, I mean, it looks like they're looking to stack more sellers. So you can see over here that retail sentiment just went up by 1%. It was at 56 earlier, it's now 57. So they're just stacking up some more sellers here. As more retail traders get on the sell side, because they think price is at a bottom, they think they're buying a dip right here, but I think they'll push price a little bit and then they'll drop it right back down to stop everybody out. So it's fine with us. That's what we're looking for anyways. We're looking for another sell entry to come up here because the bias here is bearish. It's bearish right now, currently now 57% long. Fundamentals are still pretty neutral. Everything else is bearish. So here goes my profit so far. Here's a trade I took. I had to manually exit out because obviously the spread right now is kind of wide. It came down, hit TP right there. Here's my accounts. So here, all of my accounts right here. My first account locked in 170. This is my funded engineer. Here's my FTMO locked in 130, 130, 130. My 200K FTMO account locked in 660. Here is my funded engineer 100K account locked in 80. This is my personal account locked in 75. My second personal account locked in 75. And then my TFS down here locked in 65, 65. So as you guys can see, I made a little bit of profit. It was supposed to be 1,000 profit, but due to the spread and due to the obviously the market volatility here, I wasn't able to get in at the ideal price point to set my pending order. I entered in market and then I closed out at market as well. So it's still a decent profit. I'm in profit maybe about like 1,000 for the day or 2,000. And then for the week, obviously I'll add that up later. But that's all I got for right now. So just to show you guys, where those profits came from, you guys can see right there. So looking over here at David said small profits, nothing fancy, but closing the week with wins only. So David over here has all wins for the week. For today, he locked in about 16.98 on his first trade and 8 on his second trade. So about like close to $30 for the day. Not bad. And David's trading on a small account. So you can't expect too much from a small account like that. So, all right, other than that, let me go and copy this over real quick too. I'll take my individual profits later because we're still trading, so I don't want to cut into it. Some team profits over here. We have Gion over here. Gion took a loss initially, and then he took another win right here. Total profit of 1,250 for the day. Nice work, Gion. We have Mints over here. Total profit of 655 for the day. All wins. And then we have Barty over here, total profit of 3,370 for the day. Looks like a lot of you guys here took liquidity. So Barty over here caught liquidity, Vince caught liquidity, and Gian over here, I think he took liquidity as well. So nice work right there, Gian, all you guys. If there's more profits that you guys want to share, feel free to send them in. Otherwise, we'll keep looking for another possible entry here. The trend right now is still kind of mixed. So the trend meter down below just turned green. The pivots here are still neutral because they're not really angling either direction. They're kind of just going straight or sideways. In order for us to have a bullish trend here with regard to the pivots, we need this red pivot to be below all the other pivots. Once we have that, we can possibly look for a buy, and then vice versa. When price is coming down, we can look for a sell because the trend is still bearish right now with regard to the pivots. All right, so let's see where this ends up going. I mean, this whole week has been kind of been all over the place, guys. I mean, it's solid that we've been able to make profits, but we got to be very careful with the trades that we take because the market volatility and just like the uncertainty in the market is just really causing a lot of stress in the market, I feel, for a lot of traders, especially for a lot of these retail traders. So looking over here, I'm waiting for this here to increase. So right now there's not any more retail traders who are chasing. It's currently at 57%. It was at 56 before, so it did go up slightly, but we're looking for it to go up higher. The higher that it goes here, the sooner price will drop. So I think if this goes up to like 60% and there's like 60% of retail traders on the buy side, then they're going to keep climbing this up slightly and then dump it right back down to stop everybody out, of course, because their stop losses are going to be sitting around these areas over here, right at the swing lows. So I think what to look out for here would be the swing lows. As price continues to swing up higher, look for the swing lows that get identified down here, because that's going to be where liquidity is sitting. That's basically where everybody's stop loss is waiting. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. So here, just adding up my profits for the week so far. So I'll just go from here. I'll go from my Telegram. So here are all my profits for the day so far. So I'm going to go to market my profits for the day: 170, 130, 130, 130, 660, 80, 75, 75, 65, 65. All right, so total profit of 1,580 for the day of that small trade. Just made a partial profit on it. So that's how much I made for the day. For the week so far, I'm currently up 2230, 2460, 2410, 2460, 5620. And these are all the trades I take on the live. I don't trade outside the live. I haven't traded outside the live in a while. This is literally all the stuff we do between 6:30 and 8. 24, 23, 22, 23. All right, so total profit of 21,946 for the week. And then for the month so far, 9660, 10,490, 10,130, 10,790, 15,719, 4560, 300, 3078, 10,268, 1011. All right, so total profit of 85,106 for the month. So for the day so far, I'm up 1,580. For the week, I'm up 21,946, and for the month, I'm up 85,106. So I just want to be transparent with you guys. You know, all my accounts here, you basically can't manipulate this stuff right here, because this adds up pretty much all the profits for the week and the month. This right here is for the day. I typically don't screenshot the entire like day, week, and month, because I don't care what I'm doing for the month. I just care what I'm doing for the day. The day is usually the most important thing, guys. So this is just to show you guys, if you guys can stay consistent and just stick to the live sessions, this is the profit that you should be making. It doesn't have to be all these accounts. It can be all, one of the accounts. So this is my small account over here. These two smaller accounts right here are my personal account. I have 10,000 in each account. It might not seem like a little bit amount of money for you guys, but that's just what a small account is to me. Anything below 10,000 or anything around 10,000 is a small account to me. Anything above that is obviously bigger. So I have two personal accounts right here. I'm testing out two different symbols for my personal accounts. They have two different US30 symbols. They have a raw one and they have a spread one. So I'm testing both and seeing how much profit I make. And whichever one I make more, I'll just dump all the profits in there and I'll double my lot size. So we'll see. It's going to be, it's just going to be a matter of time until I keep building that one there. So, I mean, that's my main goal. Like with these funding companies, I'm trying out a bunch of these funding companies. I'm trying to get a payout as soon as possible. And then from there, it's just extra money. And then from there, I'm going to be moving that money into my personal account. So, yeah, I mean, my main focus, I'm just using the funding companies as a vehicle to make money. And then from there, I'm going to be transferring it over to one of my personal accounts and I'll be trading from there as well. Yeah, Maddie, so there goes the manipulation back up. Let's see where the retail sentiment's currently at. All right, so it looks like it went up and it came back down, Maddie. Looks like people got scared and they pulled out. It might just continue climbing for a bit. So looking over here at the pivots, guys, if the pivots over here shift and this red pivot goes below the other one, then we may have an opportunity for a shift in trend. But the problem with this here is that price is now extremely overextended. You can see from this lower end right here, price is not pulled back. There's no other lows. So there needs to be a new low that's established because price is pushed up about 1,400 pips. That's a really big push to the upside. Like we need to get, for sure need a bit more. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Right. Still nothing right now. So the trend hasn't shifted yet. One thing to look out for here is typically when price gets to this point, it's either going to reverse back down or it's going to pull back and continue. This is an area of, I wouldn't say manipulation, but I'd say like always look at when these cross. So when you see the red, like if you're looking at the pivots, guys, if you see the red and orange, or basically level 3 and 4, if you see them cross, this area is typically going to be a point where price gets either, it starts to choose a direction, right? Because if the red crosses below the orange, it's technically supposed to shift in trend and it's going to continue climbing. So if that happens, then price is probably going to keep climbing. However, if this doesn't, if like as soon as it crosses over, if price starts to come down, it's usually a correction back to the downside. So, okay, check this out right here. So you guys can see, if I zoom in a little bit, you can see the pivots are now shifted, right? This is now where price is going to determine whether it's going to go up or whether it's going to go down. So now, and these are just little things that I've identified using my indicators, because I've seen them change so often. Like if you ever look back, you know, whenever they shift right here. So for example, see how they shifted right here? Price went sideways for a bit, but eventually chose its direction and came down super heavy, right? Same thing with this right here. Price is shifting right here, or the trend is shifting. So it's going to go sideways for a bit, and then it's either going to continue climbing or it's going to come down super heavy. Right. It's going to have to choose a direction eventually. So right now price is consolidating a bit and we'll see what happens here. All right. So it looks like a lot of the retail traders are pulling out of the buys. Yeah. So Maddie over here mentioned that retail is getting scared. It was at 58% earlier. Now it's back at 56. So with that said, you know, a lot of people are getting scared because price is going sideways now. They're getting pulled out of their positions, or what could have happened as well is they could have pulled out of their positions because they moved a stop loss, you know, a bit higher. So, all right, price is starting to come down right here. Here is the clean chart. All right, we have a new zone right there. All right, so there goes the higher high right there. There goes a high point. This may be an area of range, or so there's two things that can happen here. Price is either going to range or it's going to break below and climb back down to opening price. That's going to be the other scenario, right? So either range between this area or price ends up coming back down to opening price. So again, like I mentioned earlier, guys, just follow like what happens from here. What happens here is going to be the next direction. So if price comes back below the pivots, that's going to be like one thing to pay attention to. If price comes back below the pivots, it's probably going to continue dropping from there. That's probably something to look out for. I think that'd be a good area to identify, you know, whether price is going to continue climbing or not. Thanks, Maddie. So Maddie said CNBC just had some breaking news. Let me refresh this. All right here. So it says Fed's Susan Collins expresses support for holding interest rates high. So Boston Fed President Susan Collins expressed support Friday for keeping interest rates elevated as the battle against too high inflation continues. So it's not good for the economy if they're expecting it to go up higher. Let's take a look at the inflation news from earlier today. So the inflation news was a bit mixed. Manufacturing was positive, services was negative, composite was neutral. So pretty much mixed right there. There wasn't really too much of a direction. But yeah, looking at where price is currently at right now, we'll see where price ends up going. If it continues to climb down lower, it may come down and test the opening price, right? That's target price point for it. It does come down. The blue line right there. See, we got some more team profits over here. Natasha over here took the trade, total profit of 131 for the day. Nice work, Natasha. Yeah, Marcin over here said he took one loss, but if I listened to Sean more carefully, would have known it was risky right after red news. Yeah, you should never take trades right after news, guys, because if you take trades right after news, you're going to get caught in the manipulation. You have to see how price reacts to news before you take it. So Marcin over here took a trade right at 7 o'clock, looks like, and or 6:45, and then price ended up, let me see, he took a sell, I think, or he took a buy actually. Oh, he took the breakout V2. So we basically told everybody not to take the breakout V2, but looks like Marcin took it. It's all good, Marcin, it happens. But yeah, just listen to my analysis, and here's where price is currently at. Price came down to opening price. So I mentioned earlier, target price point would probably be opening price right there. And you can see price is attempting to kind of bounce around from where it's currently at. Yeah, so Maddie mentioned that the news from CNBC right here came out at about 7 o'clock. That's probably what kind of manipulated price to the upside. So right here, they said that interest rates are going to go up. So everyone's expecting price to go down, and price actually did the opposite and it went up. So now it's correcting back down to where it's supposed to be. There's no new low that's been established yet either. So I mean, we'll see what ends up happening right here, but there is still no new low that that has been established. Marcin said, yeah, learning something new every day. Yeah, guys. So, just pay attention to my analysis. I'm pretty sure Marcin he wasn't listening when I said not to take the trade. Because we already said like from way before we were going to take the trade, but I guess he just missed it. But it's okay, Marcin. In the future, just make sure that you listen to the analysis, because the analysis literally tells you whether you should take it or not. For that specific entry that you took, there was so many reasons not to take it. Like for one, the market was super back and forth. Also, the entry came super late. That's the latest V2 that we've ever seen from our documentation. Like that entry came up at like, let's see, the entry came up at like 650. That's the latest. Every time we have an entry for the V2, it typically happens at like 632, like way up here. So yeah, there's just, you have to look at the red flags. You have to understand like why you're taking a trade and why not. This was another conversation I had with one of our members here. So one of our members here, he applies like his own strategy. And he was asking for advice because he said that like he has like he was asking if I could help him avoid losses or how to become more consistent. And I looked at his trades, and his win-loss ratio is like super horrible. It's like a 30% win rate. And I basically showed him, I was like, if you use the pivots here, because what happened was yesterday he took like opposite trades of us, and I was like, yeah, that was actually our breakout that hit TP, and a momentum counter scalp that also hit TP. And I said you could use the trend meter and the pivots to identify the trend so you're not trading against the trend. So, I mean, the main key with a lot of people, I feel like everybody here can make profit, right? Everybody here knows how to make profit, but a lot of people here don't know how to avoid losses. And that's probably like one of the most important things with trading. I feel like a lot of people just focus on the wins, but they don't focus on avoiding losses. So, you can win X amount of times, but if you lose X amount of times too, it's just going to balance out. You're going to be in the negative or you're going to be at break even. If you can make wins and then you can also avoid losses, your wins are just going to compound. That's how my profits added up over the month, because for me, I avoided so many trades, even though I could have taken them, but, I was more consistent, more disciplined, and more routine with my trades here. So that's why I have this much profit for the month, not because I had a lot of wins. I have this profit because I avoided a lot of losses. So, just keep that in mind, guys. Your main goal should really be to avoid losses. So only take high quality trades and take trades that really fit your trading plan. Because you take too many trades and you wrench trade or you overtrade, it's typically not going to work out in your favor. All right, so we're looking for the trend here to shift. The trend here hasn't shifted yet, so we're just waiting for the trend here to shift back down. I mean, if price pushes back up and continues to climb back up, then that's perfectly fine too. It doesn't really matter to us. We're trading in either direction. It's just right now the trend is still currently bullish, so we need a bullish momentum, and then we can possibly catch this as it continues to climb higher. Or we can do the opposite. If we get a shift in trend to the downside, we can possibly look for the sell, but we just don't have that yet. Yeah, no, definitely. Marcin said he'll be more focused, but it's all good. He's learning from his mistakes on a demo. Yeah, no, and that's good, Marcin. So once you're comfortable and you're consistent and you have a game plan and routine down, then go over to a live account or a challenge. It doesn't matter which account you guys use, guys. So like, for example, I'm going to show you guys my profits again here. So all of these are pretty much funded companies, except for these two right here. So you can see even on my personal account, I'm still up 3,000 for the month, which is pretty decent. I mean, it's not great, but it's pretty decent for a small personal account. I have two personal accounts right here. So, I mean, it's not too bad. And it's only halfway through the month. So, I mean, if you were to do the math on that, like, what does a normal person make? Working a normal job, right? So if you want to do the math, like you'll just do like, we're only 2 weeks into September, like a normal person will probably make $20 an hour, right? They work about 8 hours a week or 8 hours a day times 5 days a week. They're making like 800, right? It's been 2 weeks. So if you multiply this by 2, that's still 1,600. So my personal account right here, I made 3,078 for just trading with you guys for an hour a day. I made more trading for an hour a day versus someone who works an 8-hour job, right? Normal job there. So just put that into context, guys. When you guys are making profit, I feel like a lot of people, they feel like they need to make like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. Realistically, if you're making like, a couple $1,000 a week, you're making more than what an average person makes working a regular job. So you just got to put that into context. I know you guys see these big profits on my account, but you don't have to make big profits. You just have to make decent profits in order for it to replace your job, right? Because that's how I saw things. Like when I was working as an attorney, when I was a lawyer, I was like, okay, I make this amount of money per year. How much do I have to make so I can not go to work anymore? And that's where my goals started. I was like, okay, I got to make like 100K a year trading. And then from there, I got to make 200K a year. And then I can finally leave my job, And then from there, that's just kind of where it built from. And now I'm making like, almost 100K a month from all these multiple accounts. I'm up like 86K, so I'm almost there. We still have like 8 days left in September. So got a whole week left. And we'll see if I make that goal. But I don't really look at the profits, guys. I just focus on winning. So if you guys can do that, just focus on winning your trades. The profits will come regardless. You just got to focus on winning and not losing. All right, so there's no entries right here. Price is still going sideways. Looks like the volatility is dying down pretty heavily. I mean, this candle here is not even moving. I don't know what's going on right now, but the volatility is extremely low at the moment. ATR is currently at 17 right now, so it went down from 20 to 18 to 17, now 16. All right, if we get this buy signal right here, we may have opportunity for a buy. The trend is still bullish. So if we get a buy signal right here, price climbs up, retraces, and continues, we can take that for a possible buy entry. Right there. Yeah, Shiv said that was the biggest mistake. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people like, because they see a lot of people post big profits, they feel like they're kind of behind if they're not making big profits. But I mean, realistically, if you're making a couple $100 a day, you're doing better than what majority of people are doing, honestly. So just focus on your wins. And then once you get better, you can get a bigger account size. And from there, your profits will just continue to multiply. You know, I remember back then I was trading like with $100 account to $1,000 account. Realistically, you're not going to make a lot of money with a $100 account or $1,000 account. You have to, it's going to take more money to make to trade for a living. All right, so we have this buy signal right here. We need price to push up slightly, retrace back, and set up for a possible entry right there. Closest or lowest point I'll enter from will be right here at the 90 mark. So I need price to push up a little bit higher. I need price to push a bit here so that when price pulls back, we can get in at this point right here at the 90. I need to push up, but not too much. That's kind of what I'm looking for here. So let's take a look at retail sentiment. Retail sentiment is back up. It's now 57% long. So we're not necessarily, we're sort of trading with retail right now, but we're not necessarily going against them. And there's also liquidity right there. Like it looks like it's going for a second touch. So that might be the area to look out for. First touch didn't play through, but the second touch here is playing through. It was overextended when price hit that area right there. So, all right. So this red candle here needs to close above the black line. If it doesn't close above the black line, there's not going to be an entry. This is too low because this is where the momentum signal is. So we need this to push back up higher. Entry has to be above this area. Lowest level for entry be right here at the 90 mark. All right, does not look like we're going to get an entry right here. Here is the clean chart. Looks like we have another zone right there too. So we got a lot of zones around this area. Yep, no entry. All right, so we gotta wait for it to push back up. Yeah, the market's kind of. So here's the good thing, guys. The market volatility is definitely picking up a little bit. So we are getting closer to, well, I think we're in the fall now. I think today might be the first day of fall. Let me check real quick. First day of fall, 2023. On Saturday. Okay. So next week is the official first trading week of fall. So you can see over here, autumn officially begins on Saturday, 23rd. So next Monday will be the first official fall trading day. Yeah, Daniel said, yeah, sure is cold, effing cold here. Yeah, no, same here. It's pretty cold right now, which I kind of like because I've been running my AC like literally every day. And it's been, man, my AC bill has been crazy. It's like 4 times what it normally is because of the weather here. It's been kind of, you know, I thought the summer was going to last longer this year because it came so late, but yeah, it's ended pretty early. Let's see. So we got some profits over here from Shiv. Shiv said, I did not take any Dow Jones trades. He's been trading oil all day on Russian diesel ban. It was nice. So yeah, Shiv over here is up 1,157 for the day. Nice work, Shiv. Yeah, you know, you don't have to trade US30, guys. Like Shiv over here, he knew that there was news going on with regards to the diesel ban in Russia. So he traded it. He's now up 1,157. So nice work right there, Shiv. Solid profits right there. We have Jamie over here. Nice work, Jamie. So Jamie locked in a total profit of 1,090 on our first account. And then she took another trade, your total profit of 1,845, all wins. So nice work right there, Jamie. Locking that in. And looking over here, she has a nice, so she just passed her challenge. Yeah. Nice work, Jamie. Yeah, Jamie just took her trades here, passed her challenge. Solid. Looks like you were on point. Went right over it. Your max loss wasn't too deep. You only lost about 1,300 for the entire challenge. And then your max daily right here as well. So great work right there, Jamie. Jamie locked that in, and she's now moving on to her next stage. So great work right there, Jamie. All right, we still have a buy signal right here, guys. So if price pushes back up here, retraces and continues, then we can look for another possible entry right here. But again, we need price to push up. ATR is currently at 17 right now. It's not horrible. It's not horrible. It's not great. So just keep that in mind, guys. It's not horrible. It's not great. Could be better. But at the moment, it's all right from where it's currently at. Okay. So the volatility here is starting to die down a little bit, but hopefully we get that push up so that we can take this entry here. Let's go over here to the clean chart again. So clean chart, you guys can see it's pretty messy right now, how price is moving. There just really isn't much of a direction here. Price keeps bouncing back and forth. All right, so you guys can see the structure. Market was kind of choppy over here on open, came down right here, faked out, came back up, faked out, came back down, faked out at opening price, and then now it's back up right here. So it looks like it's kind of trapping a lot of these retail traders. You know, some retail traders are on the sell side, some are on the buy side. It just really hasn't chosen a direction. It looks like price is attempting to make its way back up, but we'll see if this actually holds. So you can see right here, price is kind of climbing its way back up slightly. See where retail sentiment's at 57% long. So I think right here is trying to give the retail traders a bit of a gimme. And if you guys don't know what a gimme is basically they're trying to give them some profit, some hope that price is going to go in their direction. But you can see right here, it kind of fakes out. It comes up a little bit so people will chase the buy, and then it comes right back down to stop them out. And then it comes right back up, right? It's a lot of these fake outs right here. I mean, it looks like the price is just ranging now between these two zones. Pretty much from this area to this area to this area, it's just going back and forth. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for price to push up, retrace, and continue. Once we get that, we can take a trade, but we just don't have that yet. So. Volatility is currently at 17 ATR, not horrible. We have some breaking news over here from CNBC. Let's see, 2 key Fed officials express support for keeping interest rates high. Okay. I mean, it's going to stay high regardless. It doesn't matter what they think. It's going to stay high because it just has to. Like, there's no way for it not to. You know, in a situation like this, like that we're currently in. All right, so we have a push to the upside right here. If this red candle stays above this black line, there's going to be a possible entry right here at the 90 mark. Price finally pushed up slightly. But again, right here, we're going to be looking for this here to allow us to make entry. Again, we have to actually make sure that it closes above the black line. If it closes below it, there's no entry because this would be too low. And again, the entry would be right here at the 90 mark. So the candle has to close red, but it also needs to close above the black line. Can't close below. If it closes below, no entry. If it closes above, when price comes down, your entry is going to be right here at the 90 mark. So I'll be watching it. And we'll see if there's going to be entry here. We got about 9 seconds left on this candle. So I'm probably have to do a manual entry on this. All right, so we'll see if price comes back down and fills. Price is coming down right here. Entry point would happen right there. And I'll watch it from here and see where it goes. So I got to manually watch it because the spread right now is kind of whack. So I'm watching it right now. Spread's at 170. It's not horrible. And its volatility here is kind of flat. Let's see what's 733 right now. ATR is currently at 17. So I just want to make sure that this is lined up properly. Yeah. It's kind of hard to tell where the lineup is because the numbers are like slightly, like it's never going to be exact or perfect. But I do got to watch it because I can't get greedy here. If price pushes up, it's got to pull out. There you go, full TP. I'm out. I'm already out of the position, guys. I was waiting for it to like push through, but then I just pulled out right there as soon as it got to the TP. The spread's kind of like choppy right now. It's currently at like 190, goes down to like 170. I don't want to get caught in the spread because it might come up and hit. I was taking it on my MT4, so I couldn't really control it too much. So if you guys are in the position still, I mean, it's probably going to push up, but I'm already out of it. So if you guys want to pull out of it, I mean, it's still in profit right here. The last thing you want to do is get greedy on a day like this, especially because of this choppiness right here. So I'm already out of the position. Let me see what I locked in on that. Locked in decent profit. I was pretty much right at CP. The spread here is just, I'll show you guys. All my profits are kind of different across all my accounts because of the spread there. Man, volatility here sucks. The volatility is like, it would be high right here. Like I thought it was going to just blast right through because it came through right here. I was like, all right, it's going to fill and it's going to go straight through up. But it kind of just, I mean, it kind of just flattened out. So let me go over here real quick. I'm just trying to be careful today, guys, because today's Friday. You don't want to take any unnecessary risk. Like I mentioned, you know, when price hits TP on the chart, you got to pull out because the spread's going to get you caught in this trade. That's how the brokers get you. So the way that a lot of these brokers get you trapped in a position is they'll let it hit TP on like where it's supposed to hit, but then because the spread's so wide, it won't pull you out. And you'll notice that this happens a lot on like Mondays and Fridays because they know a lot of people are getting stuck in these positions here. Let me take the screenshot of all of my accounts again. And I'll show you guys what I took. I mean, the trade's still technically running. If you guys are still in the position, it's right there. I mean, technically you're supposed to pull out for a small loss once you got that sell signal. But if you guys are still pulling, or if you guys are still in the position, I'd pull out right now for profit. Today's one of those days where you just have to take the money and run when you have the opportunity. All right, so here are my profits for the day so far. It's nothing super great, but I mean, profit's profit. I'll take some profit and take any loss, especially on a day like this when the spread's kind of like choppy. The spread's back down to 150 now. So if you're looking at FTMO, the spread is kind of just going, I mean, all over the place. Yeah, it looks like Dan over here. So Dan said he got a partial as it hasn't been filling orders properly, so he closed early, which is a smart decision. Same with Vince over here. Vince caught a partial. Siobhan over here locked in $7. I mean, it happens, especially on a day like this. The good thing is that the volatility is starting to pick up a little bit, but it's still not there. So you guys can see the volatility does pick up during certain periods of the market, but the volatility is not consistent. Typically, it's consistent from 6:30 to 8. It's just a lot of up and downs. But we just haven't really had that yet. So, you know, we got to work with what we got here, clean this up. 738 right now. We'll see if there's another entry, but not really expecting too much moving forward. So here is my funded engineer account locked in 630, my FTMO locked in 700, 700, 700. This is my 200K FTMO account locked in 1,600. Here is my funded engineer account 100K locked in 305. These are my two personal accounts locked in 240, 240. Here's my TFF locked in 531, 531. So for the day so far, this is where I'm at. For the week so far, this is where I'm at. And for the month so far, this is where I'm at. These are all the trades taken during the live session. I don't trade outside the live session. I haven't traded outside this entire month. So pretty much every trade I've taken here is taken during these live sessions from 6:30 to 8. So if you took every trade I took, or even partials of those trades, or even more, because there was a lot more entries that came up and they all hit and I didn't take them. So like this entire week, there was a lot of trades that came up. Like yesterday, there was the breakout V2. I didn't take that. There was a momentum counter scalp. I didn't take that. There was like 4 liquidity trades. I didn't take any of those trades. If you just took the trades during the live sessions, that's pretty much what you could have locked in. So nice. Yeah, Maddie said he got the same weekly results as me. Yeah, no, solid, Maddie. Maddie's been showing me his profits for the day and for the week so far. I mean, Maddie's been doing amazing. So I've been seeing Maddie's profits over here. So here's Maddie. He's very consistent, right? So for Monday, he locked in 1,000 per account. Tuesday, he locked in 900 per account. He's just sticking to these live sessions. If you guys can stick to the live sessions, you'll do great. Like you see Maddie, all these greens here, like he's been consistently in the green every single day, right? Because he's following directions. He's sticking to the live session. He's not making any changes. He's just doing what he's supposed to do, and he'll find that consistency. The main thing I tell people all the time is like, people always ask me like, how do I stay consistent? And I'm like, learn how to follow directions, right? Learn how to listen and follow directions. Because if you're not listening, you're not following directions, all the losses that you incur are your fault because you're not paying attention and you're not following what we've been basically telling you guys throughout these live sessions. I take like 1 or 2 trades a day. I barely take any trades, and the trades that I do take, they'll almost always hit. That's why we have such a high win rate. I have to update that spreadsheet over here too. So let me just check the charts real quick. I'm not expecting any other entries from now until 8 o'clock, guys. We currently have a sell signal right here. In order for us to have another momentum pullback scalp, we need to get a buy signal. We need price to push up, retrace, and continue. I'll keep looking at the charts for a possible entry, but we have about 20 minutes till 8, and the volatility here is pretty much died down. You guys can see the ATR is now at 15. So I'm not really expecting too much from now until 8. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, if you guys have more profits to share, send them in, and then I'll cover them. And then after that, I'll update the spreadsheet with all of our official trades for this week so far. So we got Natasha over here, more profits, total profit of 601 for the day. We have Vince over here, total profit of 890 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Vince. Yeah, so you finally bounced back, Vince. Nice work. I know you had a rough week so far. A lot of people have had a rough week. And you're really like bringing it back up right now. So that's pretty solid. Let me go over here real quick. So again, if you guys are part of the Discord, the official profits are going to be my trades. The team profits are going to be everybody else's. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go over to our spreadsheet, and I'm going to document the other trades that we've had here for today. So we had 2 trades today. We had one right there and one right there. So today is the 22nd. Let me document these trades right here. So the first trade right here happened at 6:57. It was for a sell. And this is for a buy. So for the first entry right here, I'm going to take a screenshot of this. And then for the next entry right here, this entry happened at 7:35 for a buy. All right, so for our trades for September so far, we currently have we have 15 wins, 4 losses, total profit of 1,350 pips, total trades of 19 trades, total win-loss ratio of 78.9%. So I want to get this up to maybe around 80% by the end of the month, hopefully. But yeah, these are our trades for the month so far, our official trades that we take here in the live session. I document everything here. So if you guys ever want to pull this up, just go to our Discord. So go to our Discord. If you guys are new to the Discord, click on Kodi Kai trades up here. Make sure that you have show all channels enabled. Typically, this is what it's going to look like. You might not see the profits, but if you go over here, click show all channels. If you go down to the spreadsheet over here to trading journal, go to 2023 official live trades, click on this here, and it'll give you the spreadsheet to see all of my trades for this month so far. So we had a couple losses. You know, a lot of this stuff was just testing stuff, and it was a lot of my mistake for the breakout and stuff, but everything else has been pretty solid for wins. So those are my profits so far. Here's some more profits from Andreas. He took that one trade as well. Total profit of 1,030 for the day, all wins. So nice work right there, Andreas. And I'll add this over here. So if there's any questions that you guys have, you know, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm going to start transferring over everyone's profits over here. So we have Andreas profits, Jamie's profits over here, Shiv's profits over here, and David's profits over here. All right, solid. So what I'll do here now is let's see if there's any other entries that we may see coming up. Yeah, I don't see anything else coming up right here. Let's see, question from iPhone. iPhone's asking, hey, Sean, you think this could go all the way back down? I mean, possibly it could. The overall direction of trend is still bearish. So, I mean, it could come back down. I mean, there's no guarantee it will, but if you're asking if there's a possibility, yeah, there's a possibility that it can, because it's not really that far. It's not that far up. It's slightly up right now. There's also news coming up over here at 10 o'clock, I think. Let me check the calendar. So we have Baker Hughes oil rig count, basically oil news coming up at 10 o'clock. It's low impact. So, I mean, that may cause price to kind of move around a bit. But there's no guarantee price is going to come back down from where it's currently at. The main thing I would look at would be retail sentiment. The retail sentiment here hasn't changed too much. It's currently at 56% long. So unless this goes up to like 60% or 70%, I'm not really expecting a big drop to happen. I mean, price might just go sideways for a bit as price continues to, you know, range right here. But there's not really too much of a direction. If there was a direction, I can tell you like, yeah, price will probably come back down. But right now, if you look over here at the clean chart, there's not really much of a direction here. It's kind of just going back and forth from where it's currently at. Let's see, question over here from Randy or from Vince. Sorry, Vince, I didn't see your question earlier and I missed it. So Vince is asking, would I consider 733 a weak V1? So let's go over here to 733 real quick. 733. So I mean, it would be considered a V1. I don't know if it would necessarily be. I mean, I guess it would be kind of weak because the shorter time frames here are kind of neutral. So if we change the bias over here, let's just change this back to neutral. I mean, it's still bearish. It's not super strong because we have a bearish neutral retail sentiment. I mean, it's more so just like neutral now because it's not even bearish. So yeah, I guess if you want to be like very specific, it would be considered weak because there's not very much of an overall bias. If the sentiment was like 60% long, then okay, great. It'd be like a bearish neutral. But right now it's at 56, so it's pretty much flat, right? It's neutral. Fundamental bias is neutral. Short-term technicals are neutral. The only thing is long-term technical is bearish. So, I mean, it's still bearish, but it's not like the more confluences you have, the better. You know, typically rule of thumb is I want at least like 3 confluences, right? Like I want retail sentiment to be bearish, fundamentals to be bearish, and then one of the technicals to be bearish. That kind of gave me the confidence that, okay, this is probably a decent entry. If you got all 4 in one direction, then okay, it's a strong entry. But yeah, I guess you would consider it maybe a weak entry, but it's still played through. So you got the double body right there. Came down and there's like no drawdown. So the only problem here is the volatility is so low too. You guys can see from that specific entry candle, the one right before it. See how small that candle is? it's pretty small. So it would be hard to even tell that this here would close properly, because you have to wait for the candle to actually close from that point. Gotcha. Yeah, Vince said, okay, yeah, I got it. Trade was the same time as a pullback. Yeah, I kind of went against it. So another thing here that would be a nice confluence is that it was a higher high. That's another thing too. Like if you ever see a V1, V2 off of a higher high or a lower low, it's typically going to go in that direction. Like it's usually going to be pretty solid. So, I mean, if you want to take V1s only at higher highs and lower lows, your possibility of it hitting, your probability of it hitting are going to be a lot higher. So yeah, same time as a pullback, higher high established there. Because typically these higher highs, they establish as like the ceilings, right? The tops and the bottoms, basically. And that's why we use this as a high-low momentum scalp. So see right here, we had the higher high. And you had a sell signal right here. And you had a V1. That's a super confluence right there. You got a V1, you got a high-low momentum scalp. And this thing went straight to TP. Right there. So you can use multiple strategies here as your confluence. For me too, like sometimes I don't even use the V1 as in, like I just use it as the confluence. I'll see it there and I'll miss it. Like, oh crap, I missed the V1. And I'll see the high-low momentum scalp and I see the higher high right there. I'm like, okay, this for sure is going to hit, because you have like multiple strategies kind of lining up with each other. So I mean, it just kind of depends on how you measure it. So we got Martha over here, total profit of about 2,000 for the day. Nice work, Martha. So great work right there with those profits. If you guys have more profits to post up, feel free to send them in. What I'll do now is I'll take a screenshot of my individual profits. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll wrap this up for the week. It's not looking like we're going to have any more entries from now until 8 o'clock. We got 10 minutes till 8. Volatility is currently at 14 ATR. It's just too low. It's not really worth taking any of those specific trades right now. So here is my first funded engineer account. T-Bone. My T-Bones are the same. I'm an engineer. Personal account. And my TFF. All right, so let me post up my individual profits over here real quick. Man, I got so many accounts now. I got 10 accounts on my copier. So I have 2 personal accounts, 2 TFFs, 2 funded engineers, and 3 FTMOs. So, all right, guys, you guys can see the volatility here. It's not worth taking any trades, guys. If you guys don't have to trade, don't trade. There's no point in it. If you guys have any more profits to send in, feel free to send them in. I'll go over my profits right here. So I'll go over them as I copy this over. Let me just send this over as well. All right, so I'm just gonna put these over here so you guys can see. So here's my first account. This is my funded engineer 200K account locked in 630. I'll put that over here. Put that FE1. Here's my first FTMO account locked in 700. So FTMO1. My second FTMO locked in 700 as well. FTMO2. Here is my main account, my FTMO 200K account locked in 1,600. Copy this over here, FTMO number 3. Here is my second funded engineer account, total profit of 305 for the day. This is a 100K account. Funded engineer 2. Here is my personal account locked in 264. So personal 1. And then my second personal account locked in the same thing, 264. Right here. All right, Daniel, we'll see you here next week. Same with you, Andreas. We'll see you back here on Monday. And then here are my last two accounts. My TFF number 1 account locked in 531. So TFF1. And then my second TFF account locked in 531 as well. So those are all my individual accounts, profits for the day. I know I don't have to do this, but I like looking at individual accounts because it just reminds me that like that's how much I did. Like I took 2 trades and this is how much I made off like each account. So it kind of like gives me that feeling of accomplishment, you know, because you guys are like, when you're trading one account, it's kind of tough because you're not making as much profit. But once you start to just add accounts to your copier, and now that I'm starting to realize how these personal accounts are pretty good too. I mean, it's like the options and opportunities endless. So let me add up my profits for the day so far at 630, 700, 700, 700, 1600, 305, 240, 240, 531, 531. So I made a total profit of 6,177 for the day so far. For the week so far, I'm currently up 2690, 3030, 2980, 3030, 65, 60, 1325, 465, 885, 2889, 2689. So total profit of 26,543 for the week so far. And then for the month, I'm currently at 10, 120, 11, 060, 10, 700, 11, 360, 16, 659, 4785, 465, 3243, 10, 733, and 10, 577. Total profit of 89,702. So these are all my profits for the week, for the day, week, and month so far. As you guys can see, the profits add up. I don't focus on profits. I focus on just winning the trades. So for example, today for the momentum pullback scalp, it was a bit of an iffy trade, but I pulled out when I needed to, made partial profit, and I'm happy with that versus taking a loss. So other than that, guys, all right, Miguel, we'll see you back here on Monday. If there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up. It's 7:56 right now, about 4 minutes till 8. Not really much for us to look at here. We have news coming up at 10 o'clock, guys. So if you guys have to trade, just be careful around 10. But if you guys don't have to trade, which I'm pretty sure none of you guys have to trade here, there's no requirements for the challenges anymore. Just call it a week, guys. Everybody here should be in profit for the week. As long as you guys stuck to the trades here on the live sessions, I have all of the trades here pretty much documented in our spreadsheet. So for the week so far, from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades for this week, 0 losses. So you guys should be in profit. There should be nobody here with negative. If you guys stuck to the official trades this week, or if you guys did take some trades on your own, you probably should have more profit because the liquidity from yesterday and momentum pullback scalps and counter scalps, they all hit TP. They're not even listed on here because I didn't take them. The only trade that are listed here are the trades that I take myself. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Again, if you guys are new here and you guys want access to the strategies and pretty much the Discord and everything, make sure to go on the website, kodikaitrades.com, click on unlock your free access. You'll get access to the course, the Discord, and the Discord is going to be like probably the best place for you guys to really get connected with everybody in the group to identify the strategies. We have a whole tab here with all the strategies. You don't even have to go on the website anymore. Everything's on here. And if you guys want to look at the trading journal, team profits, my profits, etc., everything is on here. So, all right, guys, other than that, have a great weekend. Be safe. And I will see you guys back here on Monday.